Hello there. Good morning and good evening. Warm welcome and greetings to one and all of you. We want to thank you for subscribing in our channels and then also commenting and giving us feedback on various sessions that we had been conducting all these days. Um, we also want to ensure that you all benefit from what we are conducting and describing topic by topic. And the testimonies that I have personally heard from various people whom I have known belonging to various groups, what they're requesting is talk more from practical perspective as you're already doing. That's what they're saying. And um, we cannot talk only from practical experiences, but we have to also touch a little bit of the facts and it's not fully philosophical, but there are practical way of implementing certain guidelines, and that's called as fact-based discussion, right? We want to talk about the facts, and also we make it interesting more from absolutely, a point where it's very useful for your life and my life and everybody's life, right? So that's what makes the difference, like how much it benefits to each one of you. And we are definitely focusing to improve. If you have any feedback, please let us know. Okay, welcome to today's session. And as always, we mostly pick the important topics that are going to help every one of us in our life, right? At the end of the day, how we are dealing with our lives and how victoriously we bounce back, right? And is there a human being in this world that can say that there are no hardships, no troubles, no problems, no sufferings, no sickness, no illness? Every one of us have problems through some or other means, by some or other aspects, or through some or other people, right? You talk about the richest person, the billionaire, the richest person is Amazon CEO, right? Um, for all the way to the beggars. The beggars are quite common in India, a country like India. It's legalized; they can beg. But if you do the same in Europe and US, you will be jailed. You talk to that beggar, he will have his own problems. So problems, only the degree. There is a variation in the degree of problems, but problems are imminent. It's existing. No one can abolish it. As long as we live in this form of mankind in this world, there are going to be troubles, there are going to be problems, but how we bounce back, how we face it, how we overcome it courageously and wisely are the things which we are touching through the sessions. And that's why these sessions are very important. Don't call it as motivational sessions, but these are also sessions which kind of helps you to reach your destiny, helps you to achieve your ambitions, excuse me. All right, so before we get into the session, before I would speak a bit about the title, I want to talk about a quote, a very funny quote. Someone says like this, or many people say many things, we collated it together. I like cancelled plans. Some people say that. They like to plan and they like to cancel it and they enjoy by doing that. Can you believe? There are some people, maybe you are in that category, and okay, fine, enjoy canceling. And empty bookstores. They get into a bookstore to buy something, but they don't want it to see it filled with books. There are various types of people, and others may think they are crazy, but according to them, uh, that's fun, right? I like rainy days and thunderstorms. Some people say this, and of course, all of us like that. And quite coffee shops. Some people get into coffee shop to quietly spend their time, and very tough to find a coffee shop like that, right? I like messy bits and overworn pajamas or overworn dress, which is so old. I've seen some people wearing it will be fading in color and they it will be so absurd to look and they enjoy wearing that. Right? At the end, we will make a statement. Most of all, I like the small joys that a simple life brings. That's the quote, right? The simple life is described in various patterns, various forms. That's why I collated all the uh, meaningful statements made by the respective people belonging to the corresponding category in their own language. According to them, they feel this is the way how they enjoy a simple life, and this is how they define a simple life. Some people thunderstorm is great. For some people the messy beds are good. For some people beds must be neatly arranged, right, when they get out of the bed. So we are living in a world which is diversified. And we are living with a lot of people coming from various culture, various background, various kind of circumstances, right? And you just don't know what all they go through, and that's why time and again we are trying to help us to understand, to get that comprehensive view. Therefore, you and I have that kind of understanding and perception. Therefore, our perseverance skill builds. Welcome to the session where we are talking about a title which is definitely a must and should, that everybody should inherit this title. What is this? Extract joy and peace from the simplest or the simple achievements that you accomplish in your lives, right? For some reasons, excuse me, the world is functioning in such a way that you can celebrate or you can have party only if the achievement is very big, well classified, well acknowledged by people, billion dollars turnover. But uh, by doing that, they work and slog for hours together, years together, and the smallest joy, the simpler achievements that they tend to acquire during this journey of achieving or targeting the bigger achievements, they miss. And that's why what happens is, if you miss the mark of that $1 billion turnover, what happens is, since you are completely focused and so for some reasons you assumed and you thought the enjoyment can happen, the partying can happen, the joy and the peace can be can linger to my heart or instilled in my mind, body, and soul. Only if I meet the mark or hit the target. So for some reasons you miss the target. What happens? You end up in depression. You end up in a severe or a terrific kind of mindset, which no one can help you. So that's why it's very important that when you are in the process of marching towards your destiny, where you have so many things to do to achieve the target, it may take even a decade. Don't miss or lose those smaller achievements. That's simple things that gives you joy. And we are going to go through certain examples, right? First, let's talk about a very good example about the farmer, right? There are two perspectives, way of looking at this. A farmer sows seed and then he waits for the rainy seasons, and then he will have a plentiful harvest, and that's when the joy is seen on his face. That's when his smile is seen, really felt. But until then, he's sowing the seeds, he is watering the plants, and he's taking care, manuring it, and taking good care that no wild animal should come and destroy, and all that. He's fencing it and safeguarding it. But then he couldn't enjoy anything. Why? Because the harvest is yet to be seen. That's the way how a farmer works, and it's very much applicable for his way of looking at things, because he has not seen the outcome or output yet. But there is a different aspect of looking at the same example. The farmer sows in joy and reaps the harvest in joy. It's not at all wrong, isn't it? It's not at all incorrect to sow in joy with the hope and confidence that as much as I have obtained or received the harvest in plentiful the last few years, last few decades, this time also it's going to be the same, or it's going to be more than that. That's the way how one can live his life in joy and peace during the course of investing things, during the course of their hard works, sincerity, efforts that they put together. Nothing goes in vain, right? We are not talking about, hey, when you miss the mark, you have nothing to lose because anyway you enjoy. No, there is no question about missing the mark. You have to hit the mark, right? The more you hit the targets, the more you reach your destiny, the more successful you become. And that's the reason we are having these kind of sessions. There is no question of you missing the mark. Plan it out well and strategize it well. We speak this always in almost all the sessions, right? So the question is not about that. The question is about, during that course of time, you don't have to lose your peace. You don't have to kind of live in a mode of desperation, or in a mode of restlessness, right? In a mode of anxiety. You don't have to, right? Because things will fall in place. Just calm down. If things don't fall in place, then let's see at that point of time. Do not worry about tomorrow. There is a saying, right? Because enough is the trouble for today. So just stick to that proverb. All right. Now, for some people, joy means it's an emotion of great happiness. For some people, joy is the way of living a life, or living the life, right? For some people, it's a habitual practice, right? The more sad they get into, the more troublesome moments and situations they get into, the circumstances that basically tragic situations, also unexpected, unprecedented events have happens, and they haven't expected anything like that to happen. But then they control their mindset and attitude in a such a way that they go into depression, but they bounce back because they're when they will extract that peace and that satisfaction is when they get that joy back. Why? Because there is yet another chance, there is yet another day, and the lifespan is still there waiting for me. Tomorrow is waiting for me. Therefore, what happened today is it has just happened, but then tomorrow need not be the same as today. This is the way how they bounce back and regain that joy. They kind of reacquire that joy, and nothing can separate them from joy. No human, no emotions, no circumstances, no situation, no loss, no failure, no errors. Nothing at all can separate them from joy. Some people live their lives based on these kind of principles, and that's why you will see some people always they are joyous. I really envy them. I really try to inherit that principle and policy. It's really tough, but it's not impossible. That's what we always keep saying, right? Nothing comes for free. You will no pain no gain. You will have to really strive hard to inherit certain good principles from people, and you need to learn. You need to ask them, and they're going to explain. Some people don't, but you have just sessions like this where we can explain it. Okay, what does it mean? What does it really mean to be a joyous person or a joyful person? What does it mean actually to feel it? See, someone who's joyful is actually a very happy person. Now the question mark is, are they happy? Is it like circumstance driven joy, or is it based on a situation? Right, when something good happens they're joy, when something bad happens they're immediately down. See, when your emotion will always get disturbed, right? But then it should be quicker. It should be quick. You need to count it out and then immediately come out of it. Look at the next steps. These are the people who are very happy in their life, right? A joyful child will laugh with delight. Have you seen a child, baby, right? You make a fun, boom, you say, and some babies get scared and cried. But then when mother makes this kind of boom, woo, something like that, it immediately laughs, right? The laughter comes out of heart. Why? Because there is absolutely no worry, because the child security is in its mother and father, it's in parents, right? They're going to just take care of me. If the child doesn't happen to see either of these people around, that's when it starts crying and weeping. Why? Because the upon whom they have put the trust and security, that person is missing. And about these we have covered in other sessions also, right? Introvert and extrovert, and in the self independency, etc. All these things we covered. You need to go through all these sessions. These are the factors where we need to kind of bring it together and call it as security. It's no more people, it's actually the habits that you build, the attitude that you fine tune, yeah, tighten your bolts and nuts attitude. That is where your security will lie. And if you are building this kind of environment around you, atmosphere around you, see, again, we are not trying to say that you need to de-associate in dealing from people. Obviously, we always said this, we are mankind and we are human beings, and we need to support each other. That's the way how the world is evolving. You go to get into any business, from the top to the bottom, it's human beings that execute. How much ever they automate, they bring machines, they bring robots, they bring computers, you still need human beings to support you. It's called a supply chain mechanism, or supply chain model. All right. Similarly, what we are trying to say here is you need to have a hierarchy built, but then your security is not dependent on people, but dependent on your controlled by your habit and attitude. And such people, you will see, they are already always joyful regardless of situation. When you experience the feeling of joy, you're joyful. That's a simple definition, right? And how you feel your joy, that's what we had explained so far, right? To be joyful is beyond being happy. We will quickly examine what is the difference between joy and happiness, right? These are two different line of emotions, but we need to understand what it is, right? There is delight and a kind of a bliss involved in feeling joyful, which is unexplainable but only can be felt. Can I explain joy by laughing loud? You will call me a mad person, right? But when I ask you to feel the joy and happiness, yes, you can. I can also do the same. But um, if I'm going to be asked to be if I'm going to be asked explain what is communication, and I'm going to tell you no, communication you can feel but cannot be explained. It's the other way around. Communication can only be explained. Presentation skills can be only be explained, but you cannot feel it, right? So this is the emotional based attribute. Therefore, we need to handle it carefully. Now, why it is important to be joyful? We need to also understand, right? Many people think, yeah, people call me a mad person if I'm always saying I'm joyful and happy. It's important. Why? Because studies show that a lot of university conducted a lot of researches, and it shows that joyful people have lesser chance of getting into any kind of physical ailments or diseases or sicknesses, right? Such as heart attack, and it helps to maintain a healthier blood pressure. They don't get into BP problems or diabetic, or and they tend to have even lower cholesterol levels. Now, what can make you joyful? That is something you need to decide, right? Some people studying, over studying, they're joyful by doing that. So for the outside world, oh, see how much he or she is stressing. No, actually, it is how you look. But the way how they look is they enjoy it. They're passionate about doing certain things. That instills joy. Like that, you need to find your own methods, practices, principles, doctrines. Live by it. Surrender yourself to those doctrines and be joyful. Make efforts, right? There is research also to prove that joy boosts our immune systems. Medically, scientifically, it's proven. Biologically, it's proven that the immune system is the one when it gets weakened due to depressions, hypertensions, and due to all sorts of emotional disturbances, right? The immune system weakens. You don't believe me? You Google and see. You all do that anyway, right? So, yeah, and then it fights the stress and pain and improves our chance of living a longer life. When immune system is better, everything is better. And trust me, many people are into a lot of therapies like laughter therapy. Early in the morning, they get up, they gang up some 20 people, ha 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 ha. They'll be laughing. Like that's artificial way of inducing laughter. Even that is helping to boost the immune system. Artificially doing it. Then if you do it joyfully, expressing your happiness, counting it all joy when you go through all sorts of trials, when you go through all sorts of problems in life. um, I don't think you're going to definitely meet the mark of 100 years plus. Yeah, try it out. Yeah, we will see if we are. Let us take it as a challenge and let's compete with each other. Okay, who's going to cross the mark of 100? So have that principle of being joyful and live long, right? What is the difference between happiness and joy? That's exactly what we are going to answer. Very short answer is joy is an inner feeling. I told you it cannot be expressed, right? But you feel it, you feel that peace, you feel that calmness, joy. Happiness is an outward expression. I told you, right? Laughter, ha 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 ha, and laughing and all that are some people, ha ha ha, they will be pushing the shoulders and they'll be laughing, right? That's a way of making the other person believe, oh, how much they enjoy the humor, or how much they appreciate the humor that the other person is trying to crack a joke or all that. Whether you like it or not, you tend to laugh, pushing yourself to the front, right? That is the difference. See, not always. You laugh externally. Uh, See, joy can be felt internally, but the joy is expressed outwardly in the form of happiness. That's called as laughter, body language, mouthpiece, etc. Right? You show it on your face. When you laugh, your face really becomes bright. Try to frown, your face becomes pale and dark. So it'll be terrible to watch. You need to have a mirror next to you when you're feeling really sad and angry. No, you need to have a mirror and watch your own face. You will stop doing that. Try it out. I'm telling you, really, telling you the truth. You try it out, you will not try to be sad at all, right? Joy endures. There is a lot of endurance that joy builds. Endurance means you will be able to bear, overcome, hit hard against what? Hardships, troubles, trials, all that we told you, right? And it connects us with the objective. See, this trials, hardships, and battles, everything, it will try to defocus you. It will try to kind of reroute you towards some other destiny. It's like you want to go to Italy, you take a flight all the way to where? Chicago, and you know what it is, right? So it is something like that. But this joy will help you to cancel the ticket to Italy and rebook to Chicago, and ensures that you'll land in your destiny at any cost. That's the endurance that joy builds within you, and that's expressed as a outward reaction. That's called as happiness. Joy is a feeling that can be felt, but then you can express it outwardly. That's called as happiness. Okay. Now, there are other few questions that are going to be asked, but definitely we need to ask questions and answer. That's when we make it more meaningful, right? Questions are supposed to be answered. How can I be joyful? Very important question. No? See, all this time you have explained the doctrine, philosophical facts, practical examples, etc. Now tell me the tips. How can I be joyful? What should I practice? What should I do differently? What should I change? And how should I change? First thing is very simple. You know what is the first tip? Stop waiting to be happy. That's exactly what we told at the beginning, right? You're doing something as a target of, 2 to 3 years of work you have, but then you don't have to stop yourself from being happy, even the simpler moments. Like some people don't even celebrate birthdays and anniversary. No, I'm in the middle of a project. How can I celebrate? No, I have nothing to celebrate. My heart, blood, mind, soul, sweat, everything. Boss, you will die. By the time you go to the destiny, right? Your BP will bump up to 400, or sugar levels will go to 600, and you will die. You will pass away. Don't do that, right? You're killing yourself. That's not the way to achieve a target. That's not the way to how you should reach your destiny. You need to have the joyous experience, the cherishing experiences, and you cannot miss those events. That's the mistake what this world is doing. That's the mistake what the human beings are committing. And many people are going through certain unfortunate scenarios during this pandemic seasons. People have lost their jobs, and asking them to be joyous and happy is definitely a terrible thing to do. But still, try your best. Try your best to keep your hopes alive. Don't lose heart, right? Pandemic is not going to stay for a decade. It's going to go away, and then things will come back to normal. But until then, pedal it somehow. And why we are saying all of this is, if there may be another pandemic situation, had you gone through all the sessions, when you're applying these principles, you will be already prepared with a contingency plan to handle these kind of unprecedented events, unexpected events, unanticipated events. That's the reason why we are asking you to apply these guidelines, and these rules are very important, right? To lead your life, steady life, and still you can be joyful, right? All right. And happiness. See, the good news is there are always fresh opportunities which will make you happy. So don't worry. One door closes, there will be seven other doors which will open, and you can squeeze in somewhere. You can change your profession. Don't worry. Add happiness to your life right now, and you can see it, right? In a way you feel it, in a way you see it. You need to make efforts. That's a second tip. It's one and the same, but there are two different ways of looking at it. Make self-care as part of your routine checks. Every day you care for yourself. You just look at your own self. Have you lost weight? Have you gained weight? Right? Are you happy? Are you cherishing? Are you using the best moments where you want to be joyful? Are you sharing your joyous moments with your family, with your friends, relatives? You just check on yourself, right? Put your own checklist. There is no guideline to put checklist to emphasize, oh, this is how you should care for yourself. There is no hard and fast rule. It depends how you want to care for yourself. It depends on your interest and ambition and your passion, and what you like, what you don't like. Your likes and dislikes only you know, only you can control, right? So you need to put up the checklist together. uh, Stop worrying. That's the next important tip. We always keep telling you this. Let the tomorrow's trouble be reserved for tomorrow. Today's trouble is more than enough. Don't overthink. See, for tomorrow and future, for 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you can always have objectives, targets, goals. Very good, right? You need to have, otherwise it's a problem. But you need not be worried how I'm going to achieve that. You be worried what you want to do for today. That's where planning is going to help. What you are targeting for today, you just focus on that, right? If you could not achieve, right, pile it up for the next day, and the next day targets become double the target. Work hard, double time, overtime, and just make it happen, right? And stop worrying, right? And next couple of things is appreciate, learn to appreciate, even with an attitude of gratitude, even the smallest things of achievement, accomplishments, right? The bigger accomplishment happens not without the small particles of accomplishment. If they are stitched, knit together, that's where the bigger achievement is felt, right? People who are kind of building an aircraft, right? You go to an aeronautical engineer, you talk to them. Aircraft comes just like that. They build a big metal piece and they start carving it, something like that, an aircraft with two wings. No, there are so many parts, hundreds and thousands of parts. They manufacture it with bolts and nuts. They tighten it up and all that. They do all kind of endurance testing. There is a testing department which tests this metal, whether it can endure the heat, cold, etc. Because it flies at the 10,000 feet above sea level. It will be some minus 100 or minus 200, right? It will get frozen up. Every department works together, but each one of them will have to talk about their own simplest and smallest accomplishment, and they knit it together, right? And that's when the bigger accomplishment is felt. So don't miss on the smaller accomplishment, and don't kind of disregard. Learn to appreciate the smallest things, right? Surround yourself with positive people and laugh more. Try to laugh more. Have the habit of expressing your feelings. Don't be an introvert, at least in expressing your feelings. You can be an introvert. I have the habit of using my mouthpiece only when there is a need. Fine. But that cannot be the rule for you, for expressing your happiness. Just try to laugh, have joy, right? When others crack a joke, don't laugh and immediately repent. Don't do that, right? Laugh it out, bring it out. These are the tips what makes you, or which keeps you joyful, right? What helps us to be at peace? See, peace and joy, they go hand in hand. You are joyful, you're not losing peace. You are at peace, you don't lose your joy. They are proportional to each other, right? They need each other, they support each other, and that's how you are a happy person, which is expressed outward. And peace also can be felt. It's an emotion. It can't be expressed, right? How can you express peace? Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Some people say that, but that's not the way of expressing peace. That's a breathing exercise. It's part of yoga, which is good to do, but then that's not the expression that you can do. So let me tell you one story and then we close with that. The title of the story is The Best Seed. Maybe many people heard it, or maybe some of you have not heard it. Let's go through the story together. With that, we are closing. There was once a farmer who grew the most excellent wheat. Now, every season he won the award for the best wheat in this country. A wise woman came to him once and asked him about his success, the secret behind his success. Excuse me. He told her that the key was sharing his best seed with his neighbor so that they could plant the seed as well. The lady was shocked, and the wise woman asked, how can you share your best wheat seed with your neighbors when they compete with you every year, and you won't be able to win, right? That's simple, the farmer exclaimed, and he replied, the wind spreads the pollen. All of us know botany, right? Biology, botany. You have read, no? Pollen, organism. It's causing sinus. It will cause allergy, bronchitis, and all that. People will get sneezing, etc. It's not seen in eyes. It's a micro organ, micro organism, not organism, micro object. That pollen from everyone's wheat carries it from field to field. That's the way how you will see on your terrace. You will see suddenly some small spots of herbs and weeds coming up. How? Because the pollen is traveling from one field to your terrace, like that, right? Now if my neighbor, now this guy explains, who the farmer is explaining, if my neighbor grew inferior wheat, cross pollination would degrade everyone's wheat, including mine. Therefore, there is no way I can get the reward or award, right? If I am to grow the best wheat, I must help my neighbors grow the best wheat as well, right? My success, we will see the moral of the story in a moment. This is not only excellent advice for growing the best crops, but also great advice for how to live your life, the farmer said. And the lady accepted, and she was shocked. She never heard anybody explaining this way, right? The moral of the story is, if you want to live a meaningful and happy life, help others, through whom you will find the happiness and joy. And going through that kind of experience and being a limelight to somebody, being a light to somebody, leading others to success, mentoring others. The very reason why we are doing such sessions are, the experiences what I go through in my life is something that I can keep it for myself and enjoy the best, and I will get X amount of joy. But when I share the same experience with others and I hear the testimonies witnessed by those people, oh, this helped me to overcome this and that, and I was able to see success and victory, the X amount of happiness which I had, or joy which I had got for myself, is multiplied by N. It's immeasurable. That's what I say. That's why I said as N, right? It's a feeling that you will feel when you are a blessing to others. So remember, the value of your life is measured by the lives you touch with love, kindness, respect, and hope. And if you are abiding by this principle, that will sustain your joy. That will ensure it the lot of happiness and lot of peace is instilled, which money cannot buy, which relationship cannot buy. All right, good. So I hope you're all charged, and I hope you feel this session is useful. Please comment, share these kind of links or sessions with your friends, subscribe to our channel, get access to all the motivational videos. It's only going to help you. I can guarantee one thing: by going through these kind of mentoring sessions, or whatever title you want to give, it's only going to build you as a better person. The needle moves towards the right side. Therefore, be blessed, stay blessed, and share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. You want new topics, please let us know, comment, and then we will try to prepare and present it to you. God bless you. Stay tuned. We will soon meet you with a new session. Bye bye.